Hello everyone, and this is the C Unleashed tutorial. And in this episode, which is episode 1, we will learn how to make a simple Hello World tutorial in C. Now, on Windows, the ultimate development tool for C++ is Microsoft Visual Studio. So you can go onto Google and search for Microsoft Visual Studio and download the 2012 edition, which I currently have, and I have Microsoft Visual Studio Professional 2012. So now I'm going to create a new project and wait for it to load. Now, Visual Studio is very large and may take a couple hours to download, depending on how fast your download speed is, and therefore it sometimes does glitch and become a little slow, but you just have to bear with it. Okay, so now we want to we are going to be using Visual C++ because Microsoft does not give an actual C project. It's a C++ project, but that's okay because we can still use the C portion. So we're just going to call it C programming tutorial. Okay, and hit OK. And we're going to wait for that to load. Now, this tutorial is meant to be a rigorous and fast-paced tutorial. So it is meant for beginners and advanced C program users, but if you are already accustomed to many of the C features, you should skip this episode, as this is not necessary for you to listen for. But the next episode will be covering more detailed explanation of some of the C's features. So what you're gonna just do is just hit next, and precompiled header and security development lifecycle is fine. We can just hit finish. And we want a console application. We don't want a Windows application or a DLL or a static library. Now we're just going to wait for that to load, as it takes some time. But, okay. Once you have Visual Studio pretty much up and running, it'll become a little faster. However, it does take a long time for it to load, so you just have to bear with the program, and once it's done, we shall continue with the code, as this is taking an awful amount of time. Okay, finally, it has created the project and will be loading the screen. Okay, now you may be really confused here with all this code, but if you're an advanced C user, then this will be familiar to you. But what we're gonna do is we're just going to delete this whole thing. We don't actually need it. We will replace it with something else though, and that's our main. So main is int main, and we don't need any arguments currently, so we'll just leave it at int main. So this is their main body, and that's the main, yeah, it's the main body of execution in your program. So what you're gonna do is, to do a Hello World, you need to include the standard IO library. Now, this is C, not C++, so you cannot do many of the C++ features, but that's okay for this tutorial. So now with standard IO, we will be doing printf, and you'll see constant character pointer format ... And you don't need to worry about that right now. Just hit Hello World. And now to compile, you can hit what this says, local Windows debugger, that's fine because we don't have any breakpoints, so it doesn't matter. And just let it compile, as this takes some time. And once it finishes building, it has finished building, and it will now launch the application. And it said hello world, if you caught that, and it exited really quickly. Now that's because we're not making it wait for anything, and that is actually just fine for now. But with the next tutorial we'll be adding some more features with scanf. Why it's currently unsafe and Microsoft doesn't let it run, as well as loops like for loop, while loop, do while, and other loops and iteration techniques that you can use. So that's basically a Hello World programming tutorial in C. Stay tuned for the next episode.